Hey guys, want to share a thought with you today about how brisket has taught me about disappointment. Sounds a little weird, but I'm out here with my smoker right now. I've got a brisket on there. We're cooking brisket up for tonight. And when I first started cooking brisket, barbecue, anything like that, I just had these super high expectations about how that was going to go. I had lofty dreams of my brisket just being super dark with a thick smoke ring and juicy like you get at the restaurants. I had incredible expectations of pork shoulders being just tear apart with your fingers juicy. And I started putting stuff on this smoker thinking that that's how it was going to come out. Well, the very first time I did that, I was sorely disappointed because I didn't have this understanding of how to actually do barbecue. I just thought that you put it on a smoker and it comes out amazing. But it turns out there's a lot more involved in that. And what it got me thinking about today as I was doing this brisket, as I'm kind of getting prepared for dinner for tonight, is that learning about barbecue and being disappointed with my barbecue for the very first time is a lot like how we interact with disappointment in our lives. And the way that disappointment comes about in our life is by unmet expectations. We have expectations of how something is going to turn out. We have an idea of the way something should go or how somebody should act. And then when that doesn't happen, we get disappointed. We have an expectation of how our friends should treat us, and then that doesn't happen, so we become disappointed. We have an expectation about what we think God should be doing for us in our lives and the stage of life that we're in, and then that doesn't turn out to be the case, and we become disappointed. We have expectations that we're supposed to have prom, and we're supposed to have graduation. We're supposed to be seeing our friends at the end of the school year. We're supposed to be doing all of these things around this time of year, and that's not happening, and we're disappointed. So the question becomes, what do we do with that disappointment? What does that disappointment guide us to? Does it guide us towards bitterness and resentment and anger and frustration? Or does it guide us right back to the Lord? And I think experiencing disappointment is something that's pivotal for our walk with God because it's a turning point in where we're at with Him. Do we go to Him with our disappointment and share openly and honestly our disappointment with Him? Or do we let bitterness and resentment and frustration build up in our hearts? Disappointment is a result of unmet expectations. And unmet expectations come because we don't have a good understanding of the way things should be going. We talked this last Wednesday night about God's understanding versus our understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge Him and He will keep your paths straight. So I leaned on the understanding of other people for brisket because my own understanding was insufficient. I started watching videos. I started learning from other people, asking questions. Hey, what do I do about this? What temperature do I set it at? When do I wrap it? All that other stuff. And I started gaining a better understanding of how brisket is supposed to go. And I had a better expectation of how that happens. So with your limited understanding, with my limited understanding, we need to go to God when disappointment happens. And we need to ask Him, what understanding do you want me to have? What knowledge do you want to give me? Now is a great time in the middle of disappointment, in the middle of frustration, in the middle of things happening in our lives that we don't see going the way we expected them to. Now is an incredible moment to run to the Lord with that and tell Him honestly, I'm disappointed. I wanted this to happen, but this happened. I wanted this to not happen, but it did happen. And tell Him honestly, invite Him into that space and ask Him to impart knowledge and understanding to you. Love you guys so much. I'm really enjoying hanging out with you guys, sharing these devotional thoughts with you. Hope you're doing very well. We're praying for you every day and we miss you like crazy. Have a great day, guys.